MP! Yo, fuck, injustice this for poor people, you know what? Injustice this for
And I'm back to school and start just school. I'm back to school. Young people are bounce back good for
Yeah, man, say. Baby lose everything, guys. You share ball.
Everybody just keep on topping up the line.
Yeah, man, now this a go on, man. Cooper's Pet. Yeah, man. Top up your life, guys. Big things are going around a Cooper's Pet. Chill on. MP there. MP. Yeah, man. MP there.
Double honors to the apostles, to the elders of Raven Stone. Shalom to all the brothers and here across the world, pushing and teaching this truth in all sincerity, in all honesty. And also, shalom to the few sisters out there. You know, this is a brother from the Jamaica camp. Yashamai.
I war.
You know, I want to touch upon this incident that we see taking place out in Jamaica. You know, but I see that sedition spirit, you know, keep on rise, you know, more and more out in Jamaica. You know, there's certain things that, you know, leaders out here they are doing, right? You know, in certain parishes out here, right? And you know, we see the build-up is taking place, right? You know, sure that, you know, the Most High Yahweh, Jimson Yahweh Shai is basically, you know, doing a marvelous work in the earth, because ultimately, you know, Scripture speak about, you know, the time of Jacob's trouble, right? It also speak about sedition among men, but ultimately it will take place in the near future, especially in America, in full effect. You know, Second Ezra, you know, the 15th and 16th chapter will take place in full effect, right? In the near future, we're seeing the build-up, you know, taking place, you know, more and more, right? Well, bro, you have a scripture article? What? No?
This is an article from Jamaica Observer, 12 August 2026. It says devastating demolition, Trelawney. Land dispute leaves scores homeless. Alright, it says Cooper's Pen Trelawney, Member of Parliament for Trelawney Northern, Tova Hamilton, has promised to work towards a long-term solution for the long-running land dispute that led to Tuesday's demolition of 20 houses in the Cooper's Pen section.
Yeah, and you know, seeing all these things happening now, you know, we understand that, you know, these men, these devils, were truly calling shots. They're basically making their move here, right? Because going back to, you know, the sustainable development goals, them have all different goals, you know, what they want to basically bring forth in certain countries, you know, where their leaders, you know, what in Jamaica, you know, Prime Minister, you know, always talk about Vision 2030, which is basically the same thing as Agenda 2030, right? So certain, you know, places them have to basically take, right, you know, certain sea with them and them as a fishing sanctuary, right? Certain rivers, they want to take the rivers and privatize rivers and take them over, right? So certain places people live, disaster, they call them as disaster zone, people have to move. I think about a month or two ago in St. Elizabeth, you know, they removed certain people from off, you know, the coast, right? So now we see this happening now in Trelawney, right? You know, men say them get grabbed up before the morning and get brought to station, and while them at the police station, yes, so they always get destroyed. Everything get destroyed, all the assets, right? So you see, these men, they're basically making their move here, because really and truly, these elites, this banking family, them have can't them by 2030. They're supposed to fully get everything up and running. Yeah. You're going to want nothing, so they're going to bring a lot of things, create a lot of scenarios in order to speed up things and take everything. Because they say they're going to own up, you know. So they might create the scenarios in order to justify themselves to take everything. And everything in them control.
And
Right?
them already make certain moves
Yeah.
where, you know, a lot of things people no longer have control over.
Done.
You see me? Them start off small because remember one time you could buy a movie or rent a movie or, you know, music and them things. Nowadays everything gone to subscription format, meaning you don't really own it. So if you stop pay, you don't have access to it again. You see me? And them do it with a whole heap of things now. Vehicles, you know, with school scene. There's a lot of things right now where you have to pay in order to be able to use it. So right now, technically, a lot of things we don't own no more.
Can.
You see? Fun? So,
in the Cooper Spend section of the parish, she has also vowed to find out which private company or individuals gave order for the houses to be raised,
Mhm.
RAZE. The land, the land is privately owned, but residents who have lived there for years insist they have a legal claim. Yeah.
Really and truly, not with the whole land. We're basically a land holder. And an owner land. Right. So in time these government or these leaders feel that they want to take it.
Can.
Right. Even certain bypass road, we see them basically, you know, go through certain land, especially if in Portland, you know, they might make a new road. You know, they basically cut cross in a certain place, you know, so certain house where the way have to get removed.
Which is right.
They write them tell us, they tell either time.
Deal with something for shop.
Either time say you have to move your house by such and such time.
Can.
Because they might cut a road through, you know, certain, you know, area. Right?
Can.
So you've seen a lot of things been put into the place. You know, you've seen to our people now. Like, it's really basically a great future for us, but really and truly, it's all a part of these men planning.
Can.
Right? Go on, bro.
Alright.
Yeah. The second Corinthians 2:11.
Second Corinthians 2 verse 11.
What?
It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices."
Yes, because Satan should get an advantage of us. You know, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We don't ignorant of, you know, this banking family, you know, plan.
Can.
Right, or them purpose. You know, we understand that all these things that they're doing right now, using all these leaders, we do ultimately going back to their ultimate planning. They accomplish them NWO, right? So they say by 4 year time now, or less than 4 years, you know, we're gonna be they're gonna have them move right up and running fully because you're gonna be happy and owning nothing.
Yeah.
Right, ultimately. Right, go on. Go on.
Alright. This is basically going into what we're going into now.
Yeah, they are sustainable development goals.
Sustainable development goals. You know, removing people from certain places.
Yeah.
Relocating people and all them. So
Yeah.
certain places when them that deem as disaster areas and all them. So them come on all different type of guises, man. But it's that them want it's a plan to urbanize citizens. Who not follow the agenda, I will get, you know, deleted. That's a part of the whole plan. Then it says sustainable development goals and goal 11. And going into the third part of goal 11, it says sustainable cities and human settlements. See? Make cities and human settlements inclusive. All right. It says here, cities are hubs for ideas, commerce, culture, science, productivity, and social, human, and economic development, urban planning, transport system, water, sanitize, um, it says, sanitations, yeah, sanitations, waste management, sanitation, waste management, disaster risk reduction, access to information, education, and capacity building are all relevant issues to, to sustainable develop, to sustainable urban development. So all these things over the call out is basically a part of the sustainable development goal and a sustainable urban development because all these things them will get put in place. You know? So like removing people from certain place. Like we don't call them squatters. We them people we don't call squatters. We relocate certain place. Them not have a name for them a certain type of. Yeah man.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Them not call them a certain type of dwellers who dwell in a certain areas. They have to remove them because the project what them are doing in Jamaica now, a whole heap of high-rising building them a plan for it. So them are going to remove people from certain places. But them not call them capture land or what them capture. See?
And disasters zone.
Disaster zone.
As on the call.
Can.
Right.
See? That's what we see like what take place down in St. Elizabeth last year with the Hurricane Melissa, man. So all them plan there to build a new city, smart city.
Yeah. And people back then was last year, you know, in the argument come out that they are basically building a new city or you know in the west. Right, you know, people say what you conspiracy theories, you know, because you know hurricane was man-made. You know the back and forth thing that took place last year. Right, but we know we understand that these men they are basically following protocol. Right, so we're seeing all these things done even out in Portland now we have, you know, a similar thing taking place now. You know, we see a video circulating. I think in Drapers, you know, on the beach, you know, you have, you know, this standoff, you know, between, you know, a man and you know authorities.
So men privacy.
Yeah, can. So you see the tension, the sedition tension arise more and more, you know, in these times out in Jamaica because you know the scripture speak about men are come up against the government or the police force, right? Come on, bro.
It says in 2008, for the first time in history, the global population outnumbered the rural population. This milestone marked the advent of a new urban millennium. And by 2050, it is expected that 2/3 of the world population will be living in urban areas, with more than half of humankind living in cities.
Yeah. And talking about us, them 15 minutes cities. Right, so certain people in the outskirts, as in I call it, have basically come in and become part of the grid. Right, they can't, you know, they can't out. They want to have the mass majority of people, you know, in that area, but them can be part of this new, you know, smart city where they basically building or they're working on right now. So people can hook up to this city.
The grid.
The grid, yeah. Right?
Keep a track of everybody.
Keep a track, you know.
So when you tell about sustainable development goals, I basically I got sustain the population down to a amount. That's where you can develop and where you can control.
Yeah.
Yeah, because them now can control everybody on the earth.
Yeah.
Goal
one is basically get rid of poverty.
Get rid of poverty.
And you know, majority of our people, which is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indian, true we call Israelite today. We are the poor on the earth.
Can.
Go back to even the curse happening in Deuteronomy 28. Right? So the plan is to get rid of the poor poverty. You get rid of us because all people are part of this new system where they're bringing in. They're planning to cull the earth population. And the Georgia guys too to get destroyed. Say maintain humanity and a 500 million.
That's right.
Right? So a lot of people are planning to get rid of. Why all these things that them are use in the near future in order to justify themselves to do that. Ultimately, why the main thing is that this third world war destruction is preparing, our the tension keep on rising in the Middle East. They're going to basically help to get rid of a lot of people. The famine, pestilence, right? Race war, civil war, or civil unrest, all these things they're planning to use in order to basically, get rid of the majority of people on the earth. Right? Because you can't to them, less people, they more easier for basically anger. More easy basically can control less people. So they're planning to call the population. Go on, bro.
This Isaiah 32 and verse 7 says, the instrument also of the churl are evil. He devised wicked devices to destroy the poor.
They devised wicked devices, their wicked plan. And their plan is to get rid of us. Or get rid of the majority of people. We're going to try to do it. The scripture says, them say, let us come and let us cut them off from being a nation that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And they're preparing to do that right now. Right? The scripture tells us so. So they might come long unto us having great wrath.
Right? They destroy the poor, lying words, even when the needy speak it right. See? So guess what, man? The thing is that in come with all kind of lying words, man. A lot of these things that I'm tell about the sustainable development goal, these words sound sweet. See? Trick the mind of the people, man. Make it feel a boy a better life, better transport, better water system, better living capacity. All these things that I'm telling you. Yeah. But guess what? This is not for what? Majority of the people.
Not for all people.
Not for all people, man.
Right?
Then it's for their purposes. Them plan is to do what? Get rid of majority of who upon the earth. And that's why them bringing all these unrighteous them right all kind of unrighteous decree as scripture said. Then if destroy the me get the precept. This is Isaiah 10 and 1. He says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness, which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people.
Yeah, and to the mass majority of people, it seems like, we have some form of right, in the society, but really and truly, we only get privilege from our slave master, we don't really get the right. Right? Privilege can be taken at any time. Like and we have an example of that. Right? 2020 coming up shows that the privilege that they give us can be taken away at any given time when they feel like. Right? So you see doing all these things, they are doing in Jamaica and across the world. They are basically working on the NWO because I'll go back to the New World Order plan. We do all these things, you remove people from certain areas or certain places,
Then the scriptures are right, grievousness. To what? To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's the plan of the so-called white man, along with the minions. And we don't call these minions now, these politicians that them set up over here, where them basically are used, to control the people. As we bring out earlier, as they talk about a man as a boy, them have right to the land. It done set up already in your contract where you get from basically the government as the land title. The land title mark a landholder. That means who own the land, it doesn't mark a landowner. Who own the land is a landholder. So that is a unrighteous decree. Then when them set up, I say, boy, you have control of this. But anytime them want it to do, them development. Like in a Portland now, them a make a highway. Do a bypass. That's what them say, a bypass. And for that bypass to get built, a lot of people houses were built in the hillside and up in a certain areas have to get tear down for that bypass to be structured. See? And a lot of people have not talked over it because guess what? When you check the levels, when them things them who own the land, it is right now, it is in law, so you don't own the land. So all these people get them almost tear down. See? And feel them have rights to these land. You're not having the rights, man. See? Because as the scripture says, rising and depart, this is not to arrest.
This is not the kingdom of heaven.
This is not the kingdom of heaven, man.
Heavenly Father, Yahweh, right, never, bring us over this side of the world and without our scatter through the four corners of the earth. Make it.
Can.
Right? You get brought over this side of the world, without scatter through the four corners of the earth. Face our basically punishment, our judgment for transgress the laws and statutes when given to us. Ultimately, if we fulfill prophecy.
Can.
So we're seeing all these things happening. Right, we understand that these men, they are basically moving, making a lot of move in order to basically bring forth them agenda to the team.
Can.
Right, they're going to see more things. You have people, I think I saw a video earlier on, somebody commenting on it that Portland is next. We mentioned at the time the it strip. It strip. Going to basically get, people on the strip, or the bars and on the strip going to get removed also soon. Right?
It's a lot of land when they drive in the area, out on the outskirts of Portland.
Yeah, so
going to the east. Yeah?
So these men are going to do a lot of things in the near future.
Can.
Because scripture says that they run out of time. And them have to do certain things in order to get them new world up and running.
Right.
Go on, brother, bring that scripture now.
Okay. It says, Psalms 10 and verse 2 says, the wicked in his pride do it persecute the poor.
God.
Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined.
Yes, because the wicked, right, in his pride, persecute the poor. And who is the wicked? The wicked, according to Malachi 1 and 4, is Edom, which is the so-called white people today. You are wicked people amongst all nations on the earth, but it's a nation that the scripture refers to as the wicked, which is the so-called white man, according to Malachi 1 and 4. So it's because of the wicked, right? His pride, who persecute the poor. Who's the poor speaking about? Our people, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indian. What?
It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart desire, and blessed the covetous who the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts.
Yeah, these men are the wicked. Scripture says the Lord created the wicked by the evil. So in them for the good. These men that leading or ruling over people for the good.
Can.
These devils. Right? Scripture go as far as say, go favor being sure to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. So them for the good. And say if they do good, then do it unwillingly. Right?
Then,
what?
It says, back to the article here. It says given the importance of this topic, the sustainable development goal. It says given the importance of this topic to global development efforts, recent movements pushing to address sustainable development from an urban perspective have taken place throughout the world. Results from this movement can be seen in the inclusion of a stand-alone goal and cities and urban development.
Yeah.
Then, in the 2030 Agenda Sustainable Development Goal 11, make cities and human settlements inclusive, safety, resilient, and sustainable. There is also recognition of the cross-cutting nature of urban issues which have impact on a number of other sustainable development goals, including SDGs, that is Sustainable Development Goals 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15, and 17, among other UN habitats, complementary new urban agenda adopted as the outcome document from the Habitat 2 conference in 2016 seeks to offer national and local guidelines on the growth and development of cities throughout 2036. Then,
Hopefully we don't
going so far. It says
mind even if I bring down this wicked society
then,
this year or the end of this year. Right? Because them have them deadline, right?
alright.
But they want to get certain things fully up and running.
So it says prior to the adoption of the 2030 agenda, Millennium Development Goal 7, Target 11.
Family.
Yes, boss. Made a call for efforts to achieve a significant improvement in the lives of at least 100 million slum dwellers by 2030.
Yeah, slum.
Slum
Living in
dwellers
the slum. Ghetto.
in the ghetto.
If you're not the ghetto.
And them are used that as a make improvements to the lives of 100 slum dwellers, 100 million slum dwellers. Like so boy, they might do this to make your life better, to improve your levity. See? So a lot of them places where you see basically like in a certain place like cities in a town, downtown, Kingston, you know. I mean, them talk about Rima Jungle. Yes, my dad because I mentioned thing about Rima Jungle and all of them places. I'm saying, you come out of the video on TikTok. I tell about Rima Jungle, all them places there. I gotta get tear down next. Yes, which people as a team, like people are cussing out and I say, who you? But people not take heed until the thing really reach them doorstep, man. See? Because when basically attack say, and nothing that not possible for happen. Because the how these goals are set to get put into place. See? All them things they're on the agenda. To tear down all of them slum there. Because they want life safer. Yeah, them talk about safer life, this and that, better facilities, more sustainable water supply, all of them something, and you know, better housing and all them things.
Yes, sound good.
Sound good.
Things are going to be better for future, better future.
Can.
But really and truly, this future, what they are basically planning, we are not part of it yet.
We're
That's
not,
part,
can.
You know, a lot of people, you know, they can't get that part.
Can.
Right? Until somehow things are going to be, them life will be more easier and them can live more comfortable by all these things that they're basically planning. We're not part of it yet. These men don't plan, they basically use us in their plan.
Them
and even more leaders that they're using,
can.
you know, doing all these things. That if them are not part of it.
I think it twice if I don't think so them no want the revolution to start or the sedition to come. Because that's how the way that's how them are getting them excuse.
Justify themselves
to put a lot
things.
of people or to delete a lot of people. See? When people get out of control. Yeah? See? It says it's a sustainable development or it's a sustainable human settlements development was also discussed at the second and third sessions of the Commission of Sustainable Development, prompting sustainable human settlements development is the subject of Chapter 7 of Agenda 21, which calls for 1. Providing adequate shelter for all. 2. Improving human settlement management, prompting sustainable land use, planning and management. Land use.
Land use. And what them say by 2030, you're going to own nothing and be happy. Right? So they're going to create scenarios in order to basically take a land, take all the resources,
Can.
and you own nothing. They're going to do that. And they're basically moving, as we mentioned earlier, right?
See? There's 4, prompting the integrated provision of environmental infrastructure, water sanitation, drainage, and solid waste management. 5, prompting sustainable energy and transport system in human settlements. 6, prompting human settlements, planning and management in disaster-prone areas. Like a Chilan, like what I'm at Chilan, St. Elizabeth, and all these places. Yeah. So all of these things going into the sustainable development goal. So don't see these things as nothing where far-fetched or out of range to happen. Because they might push the agenda for it to happen. And they might get it done by the ways and the means and the technology where they might use nowadays also. To make disaster more frequent, earthquakes, storms, all of these things, if we actually fulfill them agenda. Yeah? Alright, this is the book of Revelation 12 and verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and he that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that ye are but a short time.
Yes, you must say, devil will come down unto you, come down on our people, right? Having great wrath. And all these things we see happening right now is the preparation, for this prophecy fully come to pass. Right? They're preparing to come at us. Right? And you're going to get our people, unaware, lot of majority of people, because they're not looking, they're distracted. Right? So they're using all these leaders to do all these things, to prepare, basically the ultimate move what they're going to make, in order to basically get rid of mass majority of people. Because people tell us in the second is us. They're going to be like a madman spirit. Right? So this is the time,
So the scripture says, when you think of peace and safety, sudden destruction are coming. Scripture says the spirit is like in an eye wall, ready to. Let us bring it.
Isaiah 30 and
just in my cushion. Isaiah 30 and verse 12. It says, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because he have despised this word and trust in oppression.
Yeah, that's how people them trust in this oppressive society. And the thing getting worse and worse, and them leave, right? They have it in the back of their mind that one day things gonna bounce back and them can have that dream life, they wish for in this society.
Which is right.
Should have happened. Right? So them trust in this oppressive world. Come on, bro?
This is not your rest. Rise and depart.
Yes, you can say it. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted. And it will destroy you even with a sword destruction. Right, go on.
It says, wherefore, again, Isaiah 30 and 12, this is wherefore, thus saith the Lord, saith the Holy One of Israel, because he despised this word and trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon. Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in an high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
Yeah, and as scripture quote earlier, when they shall think of peace and safety, then sudden destruction will come upon them. But they don't expect it. Right? Catch them unaware.
And the breach dead, They just say like a breach in one dam. See? And they are crack for years, and then after a while it just bust out. When it bust, everywhere flood out. Things wash away. People drown.
People die and
a lot of people die and all them things.
Because they're not aware.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
This and alright. I'm getting serious.
So with that, I say our praises and honor unto Yahweh, noble honors to the apostles, to the elders of greatness, to Shalom again to all the brothers, and also to the few sisters here. Shalom.
Shalom.